Talking earlier about probiotics. Is there a benefit of probiotics once you've taken antibiotics to reflourish your gut flora?
That's where the studies really at this point have demonstrated that it's very temporary. In other words, if you're taking probiotics, you can get a boost initially, but it doesn't sustain itself over time. And then the natural flora comes back. I mean, the gut microbes will come back as they've been reduced.
But what I'm saying is it beneficial to people if they do take a probiotic after antibiotics? Because antibiotics...
Joe Rogan raises an interesting and common question. Antibiotics do wipe out gut bacteria, so is it a good idea to always take probiotics to replace them? Well, the science says no, it's not so straightforward. This article is supporting the argument by saying there is strong clinical evidence that probiotics can be protective in certain settings, while this one refutes it, saying probiotics can take over but not necessarily restore what you lost. Some studies show probiotics do help with diarrhea after a course of antibiotics. For example, patients taking Lactobacillus GG or Saccharomyces boulardii had fewer side effects from antibiotics. But other research found probiotics actually slowed down recovery. So instead of your microbiome bouncing back to how it was before you started antibiotics, it remained dominated by the probiotic strains. And that's a problem because your original microbiome has adapted over time to your ancestral diet, immunity, and genetics. So replacing it with a generic set of bacteria isn't always an upgrade. But for some people, probiotics may actually help. For others, they might get in the way, and that's where genetics comes in. A gene called FUT2 plays a surprising role. This gene decides whether you are a secretor or a non-secretor. Secretors release certain sugars called fucosylated glycans into saliva, mucus, and the gut lining, which feed your good bacteria like bifidobacteria. Non-secretors, on the other hand, don't secrete these sugars. That means they often have lower levels of this good bacteria in their gut. So after antibiotics, a non-secretor might struggle to rebuild those beneficial strains even if they do take probiotics. Around 20% of Europeans are non-secretors. In East Asians, it's around 10% and even rarer in many African groups. Basically, if you're a secretor, you naturally feed good bacteria. If you're a non-secretor, your gut may not respond as well to probiotics, prebiotics, and even infections. To find out if you are a secretor or non-secretor of the FUT2 gene, you can look up this genetic variant in your genetic data. If you haven't done a genetic test or you would like to have software that can help you analyze this type of genetic data, you can come to my website. The link is in my bio. If you have any questions, you can always post in the comments. See you on the next one.